Welcome, everyone, to English for Life, the podcast where we help you master the English you need for everyday situations. Today, we are diving into a topic that affects everyone: money and budgeting.
Hello, Alice, and hello, listeners. I'm Bob, and I'm excited to talk about finances. It sounds complicated, but it really isn't, especially when we use simple English.
That's great, Bob. Many English learners find financial English confusing. So let's start with the basics. What is the difference between money and finances?
That's a perfect starting point. Think of money as the actual cash or numbers in your bank account, the tool you use to buy things. Finances, on the other hand, is the big picture. It's how you manage, save, spend, and invest all that money over time.
So money is the tool, and finance is the strategy for using that tool well.
Exactly, and the most important strategy for good personal finance is creating a budget.
The B word, budget. Can you explain what a budget is in the simplest terms, Bob?
A budget is just a plan for your money. Imagine you have a small box of colored blocks. You need to decide which blocks go to building a house, which go to fixing a toy, and which you keep safe for later. A budget does this for your income.
That's a helpful analogy. So to create a budget, we first need to know how much money we have coming in. What is the term for that?
That term is income. Your income is all the money you earn, usually from your job. This could be your salary or wages.
And once we know our income, we have to look at where the money goes out. What do we call the money that leaves our accounts?
We call that expenses. Expenses are everything you spend money on. We usually split expenses into two main types: fixed and variable.
Can you break down fixed and variable for us?
Certainly. Fixed expenses are costs that stay the same every month. Think of them as the steady payments. Examples include your rent or mortgage payment, your monthly phone bill, or maybe a subscription like Netflix. They are predictable.
And variable expenses?
Variable expenses change from month to month. They are the flexible costs. Examples include groceries, entertainment, eating out at restaurants, or gas for your car. You have more control over these.
This is becoming clearer. So the basic formula for a budget seems to be income minus expenses equals what?
That equals your leftover money, or hopefully a surplus. The goal of a good budget is to make sure your income is greater than your expenses. If expenses are higher than your income, you have a deficit. That means you are spending more than you earn, which is not sustainable.
A deficit sounds like trouble. So how do we actually build this plan? What are the steps?
There are three main steps. Step 1, track your income and expenses. For 1 month, write down every single penny you earn and spend. Use a notebook or a simple app. This gives you a clear picture.
That sounds like homework, but necessary homework, I suppose. What is step 2?
Step 2 is setting your spending targets. Look at your tracking from step 1. Now decide how much you want to spend next month in each category: rent, food, fun, etc. This is where you make cuts if you have a deficit.
For example, if I see I spent too much eating out, my target for next month's dining out expense will be lower.
Precisely. And this leads to step 3, which is the most important part for your future: saving. After setting targets for your expenses, you must include a target for saving.
Saving money. We need to talk about that. What is the key term here?
The key term is savings goal. You should never just save whatever is left over. You need a specific goal. This could be for an emergency fund, a down payment on a house, or a vacation.
And what is an emergency fund? That sounds vital.
An emergency fund is money you keep aside only for unexpected events, like a sudden medical bill or if you lose your job. Experts usually recommend having 3 to 6 months' worth of your fixed expenses saved up in this fund. It's your financial safety net.
A safety net. I love that image. So the budget helps us achieve our savings goals and avoid debt. Speaking of debt, what is the simplest definition of debt?
Debt is simply money that you owe someone else. If you use a credit card and don't pay the full amount, or if you take out a loan from a bank, that is debt. We want to minimize bad debt, especially high-interest debt.
High-interest debt sounds bad. What does interest mean in this context?
Interest is the extra cost of borrowing money. If you borrow $100, the bank might charge you $5 in interest to let you use their money for a month. The higher the interest rate, the faster your debt grows. Paying off high interest debt is usually the number one priority in financial planning.
So, to summarize the key vocabulary we've learned today: income, expenses, fixed and variable, budget, deficit, savings goal, emergency fund, debt, and interest. That's a lot of important words.
It is. And Alice, the final piece of advice I want to give listeners is about reviewing their budget. A budget isn't written in stone.
What do you mean by reviewing?
It means checking in weekly or monthly. Life changes. Maybe your rent goes up or you get a raise. You need to look at your plan and adjust it so it still works for your current situation. A good budget is flexible, not rigid.
So, tracking, planning, saving, and reviewing. That sounds like a sustainable system for managing finances in English and in real life. Bob, thank you so much for simplifying these complex financial concepts for us today.
My pleasure, Alice. Remember, managing your money is a skill, and like any skill, it gets easier the more you practice. Start small today.
Excellent advice. That's all the time we have for today on English for Life. Join us next time. Until then, happy budgeting.